Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope everyone is having a great hump day today. I am having a pretty good hump day. I'm so excited for this conversation with my friend Denise. I think it's going to be very valuable. I'm going to let her explain more about her story. I won't give too much away, but I know that she has a lot of good information and knowledge to share, and plus she's just a delight to be with. So I'm excited to have her with us today, and I think the overall conversation and the tips and tricks that she's going to share is going to be great. Oh, I see her join. Okay, here we go. All right, so I accepted her request, I thought. Okay, it's connecting. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm so excited to see you.
It's good to see you.
Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear me okay? I'm not sure if I'm like too far away. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about me? Can you
Yes,
hear me okay?
yes, you sound great.
Perfect.
Yes. So thanks for joining. I'm excited
Absolutely. Thank
to
you for having me.
Yeah. Hi. How's it going? I'm excited to get the conversation started. I know we're going to talk about self-confidence, but obviously I want, while we have been promoting and introducing you to the Women Hustlers community, I really want to, have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself. And then if you would, as you introduce yourself, just tell us how you got started on your journey as a master trainer.
Absolutely. Happy to do that. And first, Sagan, thank you so much for having me and making this space for myself and other women so we
Yeah.
can connect and inspire each other.
Yeah.
I started at Dale Carnegie a little bit over 5 years ago. And what brought me here was that I was in a very low point in my sales career. I
Okay.
was in a job that I didn't like and I was considered a hopper, right? Like I had been like 4, 5, 6 months at a job and then leave and then the next one. And I always thought it was the job. And then the last job I had right before this one, I realized that what was not working was the fact that I was not very good at selling. So I'm like, I need to get me some sales training.
Sure.
So what ended up happening, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. So what ended up happening was that I looked for Dale Carnegie and I found some sales training. And I give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn off the speaker that it's on my. For Dale Carnegie, and I apparently there's a speaker going over there too. There we go. And so I enrolled myself in some sales training with Dale Carnegie, and I never looked back. As soon as I took the training, I really liked it, and I once I talked to the woman, the owner of the business, and she told me, "Hey, if you stick around, I really believe that you could do something in this company. You could actually become a trainer." And I had always been
Wow.
interested in education. Yeah,
Sure.
and so graduated from the sales training and quit that job as soon as I could,
Yeah.
and started here, and I've been here ever since, and I'm very blessed and very happy to be here.
Awesome. 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 So, okay, you started and you didn't necessarily have any sales training, and now you've built yourself up, invested in yourself, and you've been able to really realize your potential with sales and really grow within your journey. So that's very like inspiring. And I think something that we all can hold on to, because as you're starting something new, you may not be um, as like great at it, right? But if you keep going, then I think that's the lesson.
Yeah, so I think the lesson there really, Sagan, is that um, I was very disappointed in that I felt like I couldn't really do well at sales. And so even though that's a component of my career, but I mainly, like you said at the beginning, I'm a trainer. So I train not only our clients, but also aspiring trainers now as well.
Oh, okay.
It's Yeah, it's the idea that I just had a goal and I just kept going. And I really wanted to get really good at sales
Yeah.
because I figured out that once you can speak about a product in a way that is convincing and motivating to other people,
Sure.
I believed, and I still do, that you could do almost anything.
Sure.
You can motivate other people, and you can really move mountains.
Sure.
So that's why I was so interested in doing that and being able to master that skill. And as a trainer, I have to sell the process of things that we do so that other people want to do the things how we teach them to do them, right?
Sure.
So I believe everybody's always selling something, selling something for sure.
Absolutely. I think having some sort of like a strong sales foundation is needed, and that's something that, you know, we all could work on.
Yeah.
So with that said, and I don't want to detour off too much from the questions, but I'm interested to know
Sure.
what is like the biggest tip you could give us around having learned how to successfully sell and sell a product? What's the biggest tip you could give us around like selling?
It's almost like you read my mind. So I'm like, well, I don't want to deviate too much further of the conversation, but here's the number one thing that you should know if you ever get into selling, and you're always selling something. So here's the number one thing. You ready? So the number one thing is that you believe in what you're doing.
Okay.
When you believe in what you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's an idea, if it's a product, if you really pour yourself out there with enthusiasm, and Dale Carnegie calls it the little secrets to success, enthusiasm, that's when you can really inspire other people. They will be more forgiving, perhaps if you don't know something that they ask you right off the bat, because you believe in the product and the idea and the service, then they'll be more open to listening to you. So that's the number one thing, to have believe in it and to deliver with conviction and enthusiasm.
Yeah, that makes sense to me though, because I mean, obviously you're
passionate about what you do.
Yeah, you're gonna be less inclined to buy from somebody who's dry, right? Versus somebody that seems really like passionate about it. You're like, why are they so passionate? Maybe when I like start learning, like, why are they so passionate about it? What am I missing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, wait, what do they have that I don't? Like, I want a piece.
Human.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. So tell us about your biggest challenge. So getting started with, you know, selling, and even I'd like to approach this conversation twofold. So as you have like built up your own self-confidence, but now as a master trainer, and that being one of your most popular topics to discuss, like how have you been able to overcome your challenges?
Yeah, thank you. So for those who might not be too familiar with Dale Carnegie, we're a training organization. We've been around for over 100 years, and we are global. We're in almost any country that you can think of. And so one of the I'll call it the pillars of what we train people on is how to have trust in themselves, because again, going back to that enthusiasm and that conviction, you kind of need that trust first. Right. And kind of have trust in others, which comes from the delegation and building up other people so we can be better leaders. And so when I started becoming a trainer, I told you I did really well at that first sales course that I took as a participant. Right? Once I started the journey to become a trainer, one of the very first things that I was told is that I had no confidence.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, what? Number one, what is that? And number two, what do I mean? I don't have it. And then number three, like, no one ever told me this before, right? So it came as a big shock. Yeah. So then once I learned that it was, because I'm like, I've done really well at school. I've had a successful career. Like, I have some friends. Like, what am I missing? Yeah. I was very shy. I wouldn't speak up in meetings. I'll always be sitting back. So that came across as she's disengaged. She doesn't care. She was maybe a little bit stuck up. I just didn't know. And from being raised from a Latinx family, right, of just being more humble. And so I just always held back my opinions. Sure. So I didn't know that it was, number one, something that you could work on or teach. Yeah. So when I really discovered the key to that, I'm like, oh, no, everybody has to know about this. Yeah. Like, you can speak up and not be seen as a bitch, you know? Like, you can actually say what you mean and say it in a diplomatic way so that other people want to listen to you, because what you have to say has meaning and value.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome. So what has been the easiest thing on your journey then?
Yeah, loving what I do. Okay. I believe 100%. Yeah, again, going back to that belief for what you do. I really believe that what we do saves lives and transforms people. So it's really easy to sit here and talk your ear off about what we do, right? I just love it so much. And I've seen it change people and change myself too. Yeah. So that's a no-brainer. Yeah, that's
Well, I would say that I absolutely like feel that energy from you. It's very positive. Like you sound really excited as you talk about what you do.
Thank you.
And you're always just a positive person. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So yeah, I could see that easily. Okay, so what did your support system look like as you like started to now? Like, has it evolved in any way? Tell us more about that and how support overall helps or hurts confidence.
Oh, that's such a great point. Like you gotta have a support system, and everything that we do at Dale Carnegie as trainers, we always bring evidence from other places. Like I say it, and here's who else says it too, that has been studying this for 100 years, right?
Sure.
And there's a particular study that goes over at Harvard. They did it 75 years. They track people to see what makes them the happiest. And it's not what we would typically think, happiness or power or money, right?
Yeah.
Riches. It's actually who they have in their corner. And so throughout my development, I always have a very strong network, starting with my boss who believed 100% in me and just like, take a leap of faith, quit that job, come on over, like you can do this. I'm like, oh, are you sure? She's always trusted in us more than we trust in ourselves.
Yeah.
So she's super empowering, and super important to have someone that you can just call them after a training where it didn't go really well and cry your ear off, which I've done several times, as well as call them when it's like, oh my goodness, this went so well too.
Sure.
And they're going to be as supportive in either one of the scenarios. It's really, really important. And one of the things that I've seen, Sagen, throughout the years, that I've had this change, because through this journey, like you discover a lot of things about yourself and you change a lot. Cutting off people that is not going along with the vision, is not positive for me. It's just not working out, right? So don't be afraid to cut off people that might not align with what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. So I'm gonna just go in there a little bit.
Sure. Go for it.
We're gonna veer off a little bit into that. So that's a great point, and something that I absolutely like believe in. Although it can be tough, right? As you've built like connections over the years. So talk to us about your experience with that and like how you've just made that call and then just continued on.
It's sad, and it's a mourning process, and it's a process, meaning it takes time, right? It's not like all of a sudden I'm gonna call everybody that doesn't align with me anymore. Hi, I'm becoming a new person. Not gonna talk to you anymore. Not like that at all. It's been like more organic and progressive, and it's not about burning bridges or anything. It's just spending more time with the people that we believe are supportive of who we're becoming. Right. And by default, the people who are not end up not, you just don't have enough time for everyone to go around, right? So putting our energy and our time and our focus in those that have a similar vision to ourselves. And it is sad because, well, maybe you grew up with some of those people or you have a lot of memories in common. But if you find yourself seeing them and talking about things that are just not aligning with what you want, or just reminiscing and remember when and not anything moving forward, then it's probably a good indication that there isn't anything else in your future with those people.
Right. Oh, that's
not saying it's easy. Not.
Yeah.
When we surround ourselves with the right people, by default, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I know you've already kind of talked about how you love what you do, which is very inspiring, right? Like not everybody has the opportunity to do what they love and honestly believe in it. So, I know I can speak for myself.
Hi,
I've been in places and situations where I love what I do. Like I love the mission, but I may not believe in necessarily like the way the organization is doing it, right? And so those can be separated out. So talk to us about like what's one thing you just love to brag about, aside from like loving what you do. What's one thing that you just love to brag about what you do?
I love to brag about the fact that we're so old. the fact that our organization has been around for over 108 years.
That's something to be proud of, for sure.
Yeah, it's timeless. What we do, the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is a lot of where our core concepts that we do in our trainings come from. It has been in the top 10 for as long as it was written in the 30s.
It's a
And
great
so, yeah, fantastic. And to see that that still works and across generations and across cultures and across languages, that's powerful. It just boils down to the fact that we're all people and we're all one of the same.
Yes.
Well, that's what I love to brag about.
Yeah. Well, but I think that you're absolutely right. Like, that is very powerful and something to be very proud of. So, hi guys. Thanks for joining us. So, talk to us about your biggest accomplishment. So, obviously, master trainer, that's a huge accomplishment. So, talk to us about maybe how you felt when you gained that status, or is there another accomplishment that you just are very proud of?
Two-prong answer, right? Because I started at Dale Carnegie as a salesperson. So my goal was always to make the sales club and get that medal and get that medal. So I've gotten it for 3 consecutive years in a row. So that was my personal vendetta of being able to succeed as a salesperson. Okay, done, right? And then after that, like you said, well, what I was really interested in was the training aspect of it. And I know that in conversations I've shared with you the fact that it takes a long time for most people to make the status that I have at this point. So every time that my boss would ask, the same lady who I tell you is super empowering, who in here was like an advanced certification, who wants to be a master trainer, I would always like hold back from saying I did because I felt like I had not earned the right just yet to want that, being that I had been training for 3 years. You know, there's no way. People who are master trainers have been around for at least a decade and they have all of this different years training and maybe different places. There's no way. And so when I finally mentioned it to her, she's like, oh, no, we're going to make it happen, right? Again, really pushing us in that tough love. Yeah, like, wait, what's going on? So that really meant a lot to me. So the fact that it's just mind over matter a lot of the times, and a lot of mental preparation and knowing this is what I really wanted, this is my goal, and I'm going to make it happen because there's other people who believe in me. And if they say I can do it, I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let myself down. So that's pretty big. And then once you get it, it's like, now I spend talking about confidence, right? All of this time convincing people, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, no, it's not that great. Anybody can do it, right? But yeah, you're right. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes, of course. It's something you should be proud of. Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. So, okay, can you share with us, and obviously you're a trainer and you work for an organization, so we don't expect you to give away all the secrets to the sauce, but could you share with
us? Love to give away stuff. What do you need?
Share with us maybe like the highlights on self-confidence and how we can empower ourselves to be more self-confident.
Absolutely. So here's the number one thing, and it happens early on in most of our programs, and most of our programs have a version of it, and that is writing a vision. And the way that we write a vision, it has to be in the present tense. It has to be in powerful, positive language, and it has to be something that gets us excited about what we're putting in. I'm not going to put, I achieved my quota because that's what my boss wants me to do, because it's probably not going to happen then. It has to have things that we're excited about. And one of the things that I typically do, and this is not a Dale Carnegie thing per se, this is more of a Denise-ism, I always strongly suggest to people to do a personal side to it and to do a life-work balance versus work-life balance.
Okay.
If you know what I mean, because our job might change, it might go away, and our life hopefully won't. We'll have it for the longer term, right? So, I mean, it's just a means to an end. So being able to focus on, hey, the job is not me, it's not my identity. This is what I want my life to look like.
Right.
And the work component as well. Yeah. It's just, again, going back to that happiness aspect that we discussed earlier. Sure. So having a strong vision and the goals and will help us, especially when things get tough. This is why I'm doing this is super powerful. Right. So that's one of those things. Another one is to fill our cup before we pour out of the cup.
Yes.
So whatever that means to you, if it's listening to some music, if it is meditating or exercising, whatever you need to do for self-care,
Yeah.
will really ensure that we feel good about ourselves, which is going to boost up the way that we feel about ourselves.
Sure.
So those are a couple of things that we don't need to, all we need is a discipline. We don't need to go through elaborate training to start implementing. There's many different ways to write a vision. Another way is to visualize it every time in the morning, close our eyes and just imagine how we want our life to look like. And that's what we attract. What we focus on is what we attract. So.
Yeah. I love that. So you said something that I want to follow up on. And I may have just lost it, but yeah, I'm gonna come back to it. So talk to us about like women and self-confidence and how far you think we've come just as far as business and how far, like how we can continue to move the needle.
So as women, we hit some roadblocks, like what I was mentioning earlier today, not being heard, being in an industry that are dominated perhaps as by man, or just feeling like our voice has no volume to it, or that what we say is not being appreciated. And there's a fantastic book that I would love to recommend to you, and that is Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office.
Ooh, yeah.
So meaning, we tend to be really nice, and that's why we tend to be seen as being in supportive roles. And the other side of the spectrum, there's some women who are awesome and very assertive, which is great, and then people might end up, which they don't do to men, but to women, it's like, my goodness, what's the problem with her? She's got an attitude problem or whatever, or they're bossy, or they get described with negative connotations, versus if a man did the same thing, they wouldn't be, right? And that is called the likability penalty, which we can read more about in a wonderful book that I wish all of my friends and any woman, especially young women in their careers, had, called The Likability Trap, but by Alicia Menendez. And it describes all of the issues that we face in the workplace and just in life, and not being able to speak up. And when we do, doing it in a way that is not seen as who does she think she is, right? And it's just loving ourselves the way that we are too.
Yeah.
So I really recommend to continue to educate ourselves and not apologize for who we are.
Yeah.
There's no need.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so what advice would you give to any young female just starting out, whether she's an entrepreneur or starting out as an entrepreneur like you, or just starting out like with something that she's really wants to do? She, may not have that sense of like, she may be like, can I do it? But, she's just starting out. What advice would you give to that young female?
Couple of things. Number one, again, start with a vision and the goal. What's the goal? Why am I even doing this? Because that's what's going to propel us forward when things get difficult. So definitely have a very clear goal of where we want to go and a vision. And don't let anybody tell you that that's wrong. Whether it be your mom, your dad, your friends, your siblings, whoever it may be. If that's what you really believe you want to be doing, go for it, right? And don't second guess yourself. If you really believe in your gut that that's a good thing to do, go for it regardless of what other people say. And don't stop growing and educating yourself and surrounding yourself by people who are in the same wavelength.
Yeah.
After all, we're all energy, and what we need in those cases when we're trying to break through something is a good kind of supportive energy.
Yeah.
So being able to read those books or listening to podcasts of how other people have done it. Having a mentor or someone that we look up to will be super beneficial as well. And that doesn't mean that do not go and pay tons of money to someone to show you that. There's a lot of resources out there that can help us. It's just what has the right frequency for us and what we need at that moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there somebody, aside from obviously your boss seems to be a somebody very positive in your life that has really helped to push you in a good way. Is there somebody like, or a couple people that you listen to that really helps to motivate you or provides insight and tips for you?
My mom.
Yeah.
She's so detached from what I do that she can provide an impartial point of view.
Yeah.
And that's really another suggestion that I would have. Have someone that you trust that is not in your inner circle. After all, what a good coach does, they don't need to master what you do or understand it fully. All they need to do is listen and ask questions.
Yeah.
And that's something that she does really well. And then, of course, empower and support, right? So when you can get someone who's completely removed from what you do, is impartial.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea to have someone in your corner that way.
Nice. Love it. All right. Well, I think that is all. I cannot remember the other question, so I'm just going to let it go.
Oh, God.
But thank you. So just to recap for everybody, I love the books that you suggested. So I'm going to make sure I got them. The Likeability Trap.
Yes.
Okay. Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. Okay. And then obviously the How to Win Friends and Influence People.
You got it. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. So
Yeah.
I have the How to Win Friends, although that is a book that you can just like thumb through every quarter or something.
Yes. And it's on Audible as well. It's full of stories, so it's really easy to listen to, and it's also on YouTube as well. And there's also a Dale Carnegie app that we can download on our phone, and it'll have kind of like the summary to the book as well, which is the 30 human relations principles to be a friendlier person and build rapport, get cooperation, and be a leader. And then, of course, the stress and worry principles from how to stop worrying and start living, which are so helpful, especially in this crazy times that we're experiencing.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, Denise. I really appreciate
Thank you, Sagen, for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to do a drawing, and I don't know, you're happy to stay on or drop off, but for the giveaway for the shirt. So to get
Let's see it.
We're going to draw. I have my cup Totes a Morning Person, and we're going to see. I put all the names in there. So let's see who the lucky winner is. I saw a few of you pop onto the live. So let's see. All right, we got a name. We got two names. All right, so the winner is Vegan Vix.
What is it?
Vegan Vix. Let's see.
Awesome.
Yes, so I will DM this person, and yeah, we'll get it out. But we'll have another giveaway soon. I'm thinking, I love the books idea, so we may do that. I have another shirt, so we'll definitely give this shirt away in the coming week or so. So thank you guys so much for joining.
Bye, Sagen. Bye,
have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.